Welcome to Response-Able Parenting, the podcast that shows you how to parent in alignment to your emotions, needs, and goals versus your programming, bad advice, and let's face it, outdated strategies that just don't work. You'll get in-the-trenches support on nervous system and emotional regulation, critical mindset shifts, stronger communication strategies, and more. In this podcast, you'll gain transformational tools that take you from reacting to every frustration to responding with clarity, regulation, and finally setting the example you desire for your kids. I'm Becky Jennings, your new parenting coach, and this is the Response-Able Parenting podcast. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the episode, I want to share my free guide to managing our kids' meltdowns. We know that meltdowns are normal, but they still suck and can be ridiculously triggering. This 4-step free guide will help you break the cycle of reactivity and help you get through the meltdown without snapping yourself. Don't join your kid in the tantrum. Grab my free guide and learn how to manage meltdowns like a pro. Head to responseableparenting.ck.page/meltdown or just go and click the link in my show notes and get your guide today. Okay, let's get to the episode. Hello, my beautiful friends. I am excited to be back in the podcasting seat. I just spent the last 5 days doing a massive blitz inside my Stuck to Strong program, talking specifically about dialed in ADHD strategies and mindset shifts and way to view it and all this stuff. And I just feel like my brain was on scramble mode. Like I was in like high functioning support mode for parents last week. And so it's just kind of nice to be back in the podcasting seat where I just get to talk to you and just kind of like chat. And today I actually wanted to talk about Mother's Day. It was a couple weekends ago. And honestly, Mother's Day, it's always kind of a big letdown. And I don't want to say that in like Mother's Day sucks, but it kind of sucks. And here's why I think that. Because first of all, if you're like me, you are quite literally the glue that holds the whole house together. You are all things for everybody. And listen, while there's a time and a place for that, it also puts us into this box where we kind of can't get out of it, right? It puts us in this position where unless we are in high functioning mode, unless we're in go mode, pretty much nothing happens, right? Like if we remove ourselves from the system falls apart. And I think that is one ginormous challenge that I am going to be facing in the next little bit and that I will be restructuring in my household, because if I am absent, the house can't fall apart. And part of that was a part of my self-limiting belief that unless I made myself extremely valuable in the house, that people wouldn't need me. People wouldn't love me. People wouldn't want me around as much. I needed to make myself a permanent fixture where people depended on me. And from that, I gained a lot of external validation. But after all the work and connecting the dots of like why I act the way I act and why I feel the way I feel, I realized that external validation was an enormous part of my programming as a child, my programming in relationships, my programming in parenting, my programming as a mother. And so once I've uncovered this, now I'm like, wait, I don't want to be in this position. Like, I want you all to be able to do stuff on your own. I don't want to be the one person who knows where everything is, the one person who only knows how to do these specific tasks that are fundamentally necessary for our family to thrive. So if I get sick or if I'm away on vacation, then it all falls apart. That just doesn't seem reasonable or like a smart way of running a business. And if I'm the CEO of the household, that's not a really smart way to run my house. So I noticed this pop up in a very extreme way because Mother's Day kind of puts everything on blast. And so I was sitting there thinking, okay, we just came back from a trip where my husband ran a half marathon. He ran that. We kind of celebrated a little bit of Mother's Day by going out to like a special lunch on Saturday because we knew we were coming back to the house on Sunday. We knew there was like baseball practice on Sunday. But then it's like, okay, well, so Sunday's a wash? Like, okay. So we had the like brunch, lunch thing, and that was it. on Saturday, which is fine. It was lovely. It was at this little farm and it was cute. And the boys gave me some cards. That was nice. But then Sunday came and I spent 2 hours meal prepping for the week. I did the normal things that I do on a Sunday to prep for the week. And it just made me think, if I don't do this prep work today, it's not like anybody else is doing this prep work. It's still me. So I'm either punting the prep work to Monday, which Monday is the day where I do so much work and so much content for my business. And I was teaching all of those Blitz workshops, right? So I was fine tuning all of that. So like, what am I going to screw myself over for Monday just because I wanted to quote unquote relax on this special day devoted to moms? It just made me think like, this isn't really the best way to show mothers gratitude by taking them out to lunch and to give them a couple cards. And that's about it. Like, Mother's Day should be about preemptively thinking about the load that the mom takes on and setting her up for an actual day of relaxation by completing the tasks, taking off her plate, not just like, hey, just relax today. We'll clean up the house. We'll take care of the dishes. That's all fine and good. That's lovely. But what does mom do on Sundays to prepare her for a solid, effective week? I know so many moms that use Sunday as kind of like their stepping stone to a successful week, right? That's where they meal prep. That's where they organize laundry. That's where we basically check off all the things. Like, we organize the calendar. We have that pre-planning meeting with our kids to make sure that we have priorities, needs, and wants all scheduled out. Like, we're thoughtful. We don't think just today as one day. We think of like, we're a glance. We're a calendar at a glance, right? We're the week at a glance all the time in our head. We have so many tabs open in our brains on a regular basis that just telling us to chill out and relax on Sunday, we got the dishes. It's like, well, that's fine. But I'm sitting here stressing because I know I'm just punting today's work off to tomorrow, which is actually setting me up for failure for the rest of my week, because now I'm just a week behind. And now I'm trying to do everything that I would do on Sunday, on Monday, and do my job. Are you guys following me? You tracking? All right. I know that was a little bit of an aggressive tangent, but what I'm saying is, and this is how I think I want to restructure Mother's Day going forward. My husband's not a mind reader. In fact, if I say a sentence, and maybe this is your husband too, but I say a sentence and I could be crystal clear and I can ask what he thinks I said, he will repeat back to me something totally different than what I just said. And it's very confusing to me because I think I'm clear, but we just think differently. We operate differently. We just do it differently. And so basically how I am going to structure my next Mother's Day, because I have said this every year, that Mother's Day has been lackluster, just like cool, not great for several years. 3 years ago, I tried to get a couple girlfriends to go away for the weekend on Mother's Day so we could just like actually do what we wanted to do for an entire weekend. But like me and so many other people, including the friends, they're the glue that keeps the house running. And so if they leave, it all falls apart. So none of us, and this is what's crazy to me, none of us were able to leave, not even for 24 hours, without the fear of the whole house falling apart, without having to do so much work on the front end to prepare the meals, to go over the calendar and the schedule, to do all this stuff in preparation for our little tiny window of when we'd be leaving. That's not okay. It can't be like that. And so here's how I am going to revamp Mother's Day for 2026. I want to share my free guide to managing our kids' meltdowns. We know that meltdowns are normal, but they still suck and can be ridiculously triggering. This 4-step free guide will help you break the cycle of reactivity and help you get through the meltdown without snapping yourself. Don't join your kid in the tantrum. Grab my free guide and learn how to manage meltdowns like a pro. Head to responsableparenting.ck.page/meltdown, or just go and click the link in my show notes and get your guide today. Ahead of time. Let's give it a month ahead of time. I am going to send a list of recipes to my husband that I regularly make that are approved by the kids. I will just take a casual screenshot or picture of the children's lunchboxes, of their ideal foods, because you could ask my husband, and my husband would say that our 5-year-old is probably still eating the same food that he ate as 2, which, by the way, that has morphed and shifted so many times since then. I know exactly which kid likes the exact amount of sauce on the pasta and which kid likes cheese on the pasta, which kid likes it on the plate next door. It is ridiculous that none of that intel is loading up my husband's brain. So about a month in advance, I will give him a detailed list of things that need to be done for the week ahead, the week post Mother's Day. These type of clothes need to be washed in case there's a baseball tournament. These type of foods need to be prepped so that lunches are easily done as of Monday through Friday. This is the type of dinner that both children eat. Feel free to cook it. Feel free to research the recipes. Feel free to do that on your own. But all of this needs to be done. And then if there are any other things that I start to do on a Sunday in order to prep for the children's success, for my success, for the household to not just be a zoo, I will add those to the list. And I will say, this is what Mother's Day looks like. Removing the entirety of the day, which includes all of the things that I plan for the week ahead. That means looking over the calendar, making sure forms are filled out for the kids, making sure doctor's appointments are confirmed, making sure play dates or birthday parties have been RSVP'd to, making sure the teacher's gift that unfortunately is falling into Teacher Appreciation Week that's right around Mother's Day. All of these things you get to do because that shows the appreciation to the just quantity and scope of what a mother actually does. Mother's Day shouldn't just be like, oh, we're going to take you to brunch and maybe you get a massage, or like that day I showered, right? I'm not trying to be a martyr here. I did have a choice of whether or not I meal prepped, but I looked at it as, am I going to sit here and stress all Mother's Day about all the things I have to do tomorrow, or should I just get it done so I can help out future Becky, tomorrow Becky? And so I made the conscious choice, but at the same time, it just brought to light how much we actually do and how everything falls apart if we're not present. So that is my plan for 2026, is I will be giving a detailed list of all the things that I plan, look at, do, take into account. And that all needs to be completed for me to actually relax on Mother's Day, because I won't be able to relax with the 52 tabs open in my brain, knowing that 2 of those 52 tabs are being taken care of on Sunday, and all those other 50s are being punted over to Monday so that I can tackle them on Monday. That's not what this should be about. You should be actually taking the role of the mother on and doing all of that for her so she can actually relax. And not just doing it, but doing it to the level that she would do it. Because then if you don't do it to the level that she would do it, then you're just actually creating more work for her on Monday anyways. Get my point? So that is how I am shifting up Mother's Day in 2026. And I'm actually really looking forward to the experiment. If I can't go away and if I can't find girlfriends to go with me because they're still stuck doing all the things too, which again, maybe I need to spend a year working on that as well. But I am going to, in my own house, create my own experiment of having my family as a unit. Maybe the 3 of the boys can do the job of one woman, right? One woman, and they can get all of that done for me in advance so that we can actually enjoy Mother's Day. That is my hot take. Let's see if we can really enjoy Mother's Day by having people take on the role of mother in its entirety and give us an actual break. All right, guys, that was fun. I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Responsible Parenting Podcast. If you like what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. If you know someone who would benefit from this podcast, I'd be honored if you'd share this episode with them. Until next time, know that you are enough, you are capable, you've made it through all of your hardest days, and we will keep growing on this parenting journey together. This podcast was produced by Kim Kelty and myself, Becky Jennings, and edited by the Kelty Method, Branding and Podcasting.